What's up everyone and welcome to the club. Today we're creating a sketch illustration of a Siamese cat. Welcome everyone and thanks for joining me today. For this lesson we'll need our sketch pad and a pencil. I'll begin today's sketch off with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick, but you're welcome to use whatever you'd like. Now I want to begin by adding some guidelines to help with the balance and symmetry of our drawing. So start with the top center of our page. We're going to sketch a line coming down the middle. Just using these short lines. Bring this all the way down towards the bottom. Now I move to the center and draw another line going across from left to right. Now we're going to be using these two lines to help us create a circle in the center of our page to define the size of the head. So from that center point, let's move up to right about here. It's going to mark off the top of the head. And then we want to measure this distance from the center down towards the bottom and do the same thing. And then we'll repeat that across this horizontal line. So measuring the distance from the center over toward the left side and then the right. And now I want to connect the center point of each mark with a curve to create our circle. So we'll start with the top left and just work our way around. And this circle doesn't have to be perfect. We're just using this as a guide. And we're going to come back and modify the shape later. Now I'm going to add one more set of guidelines going up along the side of our circle. So let's start with the left, going all the way up, and then do the same thing on the right. And we want to make sure that the gap in between the center and the outside is the same as we have along the top. Now with our circle and guidelines in place, we're going to start blocking out the facial features. Let's leave a gap in the center. We're going to move over towards left to right about here. Just going to mark this off, go all the way up to the top, and then the bottom. Now I want to measure this distance over towards the right, mark that off, and go up towards the top and bottom. And then from this point, we're going to sketch a circle going out. So we'll start going up along the left side, bring this around and back in. Now this is for the eyeball. And I'll draw that same size circle on the right. From the bottom of our circle, we're going to step up and just mark off the tip of the nose with a straight line. And then from this point, we're going to draw a small triangle going up, across, and then back down. Now from the side of our head, we're going to follow these two lines going up along the side of the ears to right about here. Draw a straight angle line coming down and then in towards that top line. I just want to line this up on the top right and left side. Now I want to give a little bit of shape to the body. Starting from the bottom left side of our circle, angle this down and out, go all the way over towards the right side, draw a straight line coming down. Now that we have a rough sketch in place, we're going to go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. And once we finish cleaning up our drawing, we want to add our first level of detail. So we're going to start with the eyes. Along the inside, it's going to bring the tear duct coming down and in towards the nose. Now I want to bring the eyelid down. So going across and then out. We want to extend this out towards the side. Do the same thing on the right, just bending this around, just clipping off the top edge of our circle and then bending that down. Let's add a little bit more shape to the eyes. Round this out. And then in the center, we're going to add the pupil. Coming around and then in, almost like a leaf shape from the top of the eyelid. And then along the top right, we're just going to lightly sketch out a small circle for a highlight. Let's draw the edge of the nose. Just going to curve this around and then just pull that in towards the top corner of the nose. Just going to add a little bit more shape to the nose, curving this down the middle. I'm just going to add the nostrils along the side. Now I just want to curve the cheekbones, coming around underneath the eyes and in. And we're going to soften this up later. I'm going to bring this down across the muzzle and then in towards the center. Add that line in the middle. Now we want to separate the head. We're going to add that little patch in the center of the forehead. Just going to draw these little lines going across just to soften up that edge and then bring that down. So this entire area in the middle is going to be darker. Add a little bit of fur texture going across. Just add a trim underneath the eyes. So this is like a little bit of a guideline. And we'll go up to the top of the head. Just going to round this out. Let's add some more shape to the ears. Go up toward the top. You want to take out that sharp point. So just going to round this out and add a little bit of detail and folds along the outside of the ear. Let's do the same thing on the right. Go up, round out the tip of the ear, Blend this in, just adding a few folds. And then just soften up the back to give it a slight curve. Now I'm going to do one final cleanup before we start adding some more detail and shading. And now I'm going to switch to my 0.9mm pencil, and we're going to start adding some more contrast and detail to our drawing. So starting back at the eyes, we just want to darken up the edges. Also layering on some more details. I'm just going to brush some of that fur texture just along the inside of the eyes and then fading that out towards the top. Let's work around the side of the nose. Just pull that in. I'm just going to add some more detail to the inside of the eyes. Now it's going to darken up the center of the pupil, and we want to go in behind that highlight. Again, just adding a little bit of fur texture around the eyes. And then along the bottom, it's going to add some texture of fur going up. So we're going to start along this line and just blend that up. Let's go around the muzzle. I'm just going to soften the fur across the top of the head and then blend this in towards the ears. Now I'm going to separate the base of the ears with some fur. So just going to pull this up and then out. So I just want to pull this texture coming in across the top of the head and then blend that out. I'm just going to bring some of that fur coming out along this ridge and then pulling that out. And then go back and just darken up the inside of the nose. I'm going to add some whisker lines going across. Just going to shade this in and come back and do the details after. Now I'm going to switch to my 2mm pencil and start adding some shadows. So we're going to start from the top of the nose. I'm just going to pull the shadow going up across the sides. And I just want to darken up the inside of that nose area. And we'll darken up the sides and then fade that in to create a little bit of a highlight in the center. It's going to soften up some of that darker fur on the top of the eyes. And then from the side of the nose, we'll fade that out. We're also going to add a darker tone to the inside of the ears. We also want to cast a shadow across the front of the neck, coming down from the head, and we want to soften that up across the edges. And go a little bit darker along the top. Now I'm going to switch back to my 0.7mm pencil and start adding some fine details of fur. So I'm just going across that centerpiece, just extending this up. And we're also going to increase some of that contrast. Now across the top of the eyes, we're going to add a little bit of shadow, coming down about halfway down the eye. Now, again, just going in behind that highlight. Now as we get closer to the end, we're just going to tighten up our shadows and detail, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of a Siamese cat. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please be sure to subscribe for more videos each week where I'll show you how to draw different animals just like this. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.